through this campaign and every day in the White House.
7:51, that is Hillary Clinton screeching, and you can look forward to that for the next 6 months. Stephen Roberts, ABC News political expert, here to talk about, the three-ring circus. All you need is some peanuts, and you'll have a three-ring circus. Good morning, Stephen Roberts.
Hey, McGraw.
Let's talk about Reince Priebus. He said something over the weekend that I actually agree with, and the question was Donald Trump and women. And there is a sense out here in the heartland that some people who support Donald Trump just don't care anymore. They don't care about him calling up and being his own spokesman or what he says about this woman or that woman or his taxes. They just don't care.
Look, I agree on one level. You know, Reince Priebus did say over the weekend that Trump has changed the rules of American politics. And he has changed some rules. He has not changed all the rules. And one of the rules is that he has not changed is that you owe the voters clarity, and you owe the voters to reveal not only your taxes, but everything else that you've done in the past. And when Donald Trump said over the weekend it was none of your business to ABC's George Stephanopoulos about his tax rate, that just is not going to fly, because Republicans say we need to know about Hillary Clinton's speeches on Wall Street. We need to know what she did in Benghazi. We need to know who contributed to the Clinton Foundation. They're right about that. They deserve to know about that. But if you make those demands of Clinton, how can you then turn around with a straight face and say, but we're not going to show you Donald Trump's tax returns? It's totally hypocritical. So the fact is that the basic rule that in American politics you owe the voters clarity and transparency has not changed.
Stephen Roberts, what about this? What about fatigue? This campaign has already been going on a long time, and we're just getting started for the general election. In this fast-paced world where people have their jobs, their kids, their family, and everything else, how much are you worried or just sort of noticing that the rank and file are just checking out of this?
Well, you know, it's funny because those of us who do this rather odd profession for a living have been focused on this for a year. But I think most American voters have not paid a great deal of attention, particularly in states that have not had major primaries. You know, and I think that my old mentor in politics, a wonderful man named Scotty Reston, who was New York Times bureau chief for many years, used to say that voters started paying attention to politics after the World Series. Now, that's when the World Series was played in October, but not November. But I do think that there's still a great many Americans who have not focused yet on their choices, and this is why I think transparency is so important. And because I've covered politics a long time, and in the end, most voters understand that they're not voting for a set of policies or long white papers on positions and issues. They're voting for someone's judgment, their character. They need to know how have they reacted in moments of stress and crisis before, because a lot of the issues, whoever is president, a lot of the issues over the next 4 or 8 years are ones that we don't even know what's going to happen. And voters need and deserve to know a lot more about these candidates, and particularly Donald Trump. I mean, Hillary Clinton's been around for 25 years. She was in the Senate for 8 years. She has countless votes, countless statements. Donald Trump is still a mystery to many voters, and to say it's none of your business is not going to fly.
What do you make of this story where he called as his own PR guy to People magazine?
I think that's weird. I mean, and I think it's true that he has done that in the past. And, you know, when Reince Priebus, the Republican chairman, says for hardcore Trump supporters, none of this matters, I agree with that. Look, he said things countless times that are clearly not true. You know, Muslims jumping up and down and cheering the fall of the World Trade Center. It has not mattered to his core supporters, but his core supporters are not going to determine the election. This election is going to be determined by moderate Republican suburban voters outside of St. Louis and outside of Orlando and outside of Cincinnati and Cleveland. And for these voters, information about Trump's past behavior and character and judgment and temperament are very important pieces of information they need to know. And these are the voters who are going to matter in the fall, not the hardcore liberal Democrats who are going to vote for Clinton no matter what, and not the hardcore Republicans. Everybody starts an election, McGraw, with 40% of the vote. Those are not the people who determine elections. And for those who are still making up their minds, what they need is a lot more information about who these candidates are.
Stephen Roberts, ABC News political analyst. Thanks for checking in, Stephen.
Okay, pal.